wait for me to just go.
And we are live, folks. Welcome to the Sit Down Standard, the podcast celebrating all the amazing things you can do while sitting, whether it's enjoying movies, watching television, or playing games. I'm one of your hosts, David Bray. I'm joined by the man who is more happy than Bill Clinton when he sees balloons, Gerald Bales.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
All right.
He's so happy.
He is so happy.
When he's like, I've done this before, you know. Did you see, like, there was a girl trying to take his balloon away, and he was, like, snatching.
He's like the little kid with, like, a giant ball. Like, give me that. No, I don't
like
want
kicking it around and stuff.
Definitely check that out if you haven't. Anyways.
Yeah, GNC is good stuff.
Exactly. And while you're at YouTube and checking out Bill Clinton playing with balloons, go to youtube.com/sitdownstandard. Watch our video podcast if you're listening to the audio version. Or, of course, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, not soundclown.com. I need to buy that URL.
And on the Google Play Store.
Google Play Store
as
is
confirmed.
As well as Stitcher Radio. And, if you haven't in a while or if you haven't done it yet, go leave us a review on iTunes. Helps people find the
5
podcast.
stars. Let us know how we're doing.
All right.
How our voices sound.
Now that we've done that
holes.
shameless promotion, let's get into what we talk about every week. We start the episode with, what you doing? Oh, what you doing? What you doing? Ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba. By the way,
David's
50th episode. We're getting close, folks. We're getting
Big
close.
5-0. 2 more to go.
We are going through midlife
crap.
crisis right now. I'm going to buy a Corvette for this podcast.
I'm going to bang my maid.
Exactly. Illegitimate children for the podcast. All right, anyways, what are you doing, Gerald? Or what you doing, Gerald?
Got a bunch of stuff, David.
Yeah, you had a busy week.
Let's do my weekly Overwatch update.
Yes, I know how much you love
Overwatch is great, guys. If you still haven't started playing it, it's excellent.
4 people who haven't played it yet.
Yeah, anyways, I did a little Overwatch drinking game. I used to do this back in the day with Halo 3. I think when we used to play.
Yes.
Is if you lose a game, you drink.
drink.
If you win, you keep going.
Problem is you get worse.
No, actually, I think I get better. But I was drinking scotch. So
okay, well,
I wasn't
that's
drinking
rough.
beer. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, I didn't know I drank like a third of the bottle. Anyways, I played 30 games. My record was 17-13, so winning record.
Yeah,
and I felt like I did a lot better solo, and then I think you and Alex queued in for a few games, and then we lost a lot. And when I went back to solo,
what are you trying to say?
I mean, I don't need you guys.
That's what it is. You and your bottle, that's all you need.
Yeah, anyway. Also, I got an invite from Blizzard yesterday to try out their new called Blizzard Streaming.
Okay.
This is new. I'm a beta invitee. Feel very honored.
Yeah, of course.
And it pretty much allows me to, at the touch of a button, stream any of your Blizzard games from the launcher to Facebook Live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did it last night while playing a little bit of Overwatch, played a couple games. Apparently, I don't know the settings because I did the one button and none of the sound recorded, so...
Okay, but is it just literally the stream of the game, or is it you can have voiceover and stuff like that?
Yeah, it can capture your mic as well as a webcam.
Okay,
I don't have a webcam, so I can't test that, and I only want to look at my ugly mug. But I need to get the voice stuff is kind of irritating because it's not push to talk. I need to go into the settings. What I need to do.
Yeah, because you can set it just all the way on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
because it is annoying. I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, but it's Facebook Live, so if you're familiar with that, people can obviously watch it live. They can comment, all that stuff. And it shows your little viewer count in this little tiny box at the top while you're playing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a live chat too, right? Because you can interact. You can see the chat, or no?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can see the comments.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, Sarah left me a comment while I was...
There you go.
I couldn't see it, so...
There's your fan.
Yeah, but anyway, so they're going to be rolling that out soon. But yeah,
do you think
cool.
it's supposed to be in competition to existing services? Because, I mean, they're using Facebook, so clearly Facebook is dumping money into Overwatch and Blizzard because Activision doesn't have enough money, apparently. Small startup.
Right. No, it's not. It's just a collaboration between the two companies just to make their games. I mean, obviously, to make it as easy as possible to get their games in as many
What's the point?
eyes out there. Yeah.
But obviously, right now, I would say probably Twitch is the big dog, right? And Twitch is owned by Google or
Amazon.
Alphabet.
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon owns Twitch.
Yeah, it was a rumor that Google was going to buy them,
and then
Amazon.
Amazon.
And that's why they started YouTube Gaming.
It's weird how Facebook owns Oculus, right? It's just weird. It's going to be one company. I'm telling you. I will soon to accept my overlords, whether it's
Google overlords.
Facebook, Amazon, Google. Anyways,
but it's very cool. Check it out.
I like the streaming stuff. It's weird because there's always why would you watch somebody play video games? Why don't you just play it? I don't know. It's different.
I watch this guy named Lyric. I watch his
very
stream.
Popular on Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's usually one of two reasons why I think most people watch people play video games. Either they're very good at it, and it's more of like a gladiator type of it's watching somebody play a sport.
Well, it's not only that, but if you play the game as well, then it's like these are pros. You're getting tips from them and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Or it's the personality, because there are some people who aren't great great at playing games, but they're funny and enjoyable, and they have
like
good
PewDiePie and all that stuff.
Right, they have good banter with no one on, you know what I mean, with a camera, which is hard to do.
Or their chat,
Yeah, exactly. So,
also a couple of things. There's a canon to this. To all these characters, 21, well now 22 heroes in this game.
I don't care.
But the number one rule is that the game is not canon.
Okay.
Which I know is kind of weird because these are all the people that's just in the same team fighting each other.
I got it. Yeah.
But there's web series. They're like shorts, and they're actually really good. They're like Pixar quality.
Well, I saw that when you first boot up Overwatch, the gorilla guy talks to you for like a few minutes about the war and what happened, and I'm like, skip. Like I was just like, because I mean,
kind of cool.
Well, because it's an online only game, so how far can they? And that's why they can't. They can build a narrative.
David, the future.
Oh, you think they'll make a single player game? I mean, the game has been
popular enough. You'll see a campaign,
right? And that makes sense. But I mean, it's probably not going to be the same type of game. It'll be something else.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's always. I mean, if you have it's just like that was the problem with. What was that one for Xbox One? The things fall down from the sky. The big mechs. What was that game called? Titanfall. Online only, so it's there's no single player crafting a narrative
there's no
experience.
Campaign components.
That's what I mean. Yeah, there's no single player narrative driven experience. Yeah. And because you have multiplayer, you cannot have a story,
which is why they're bringing it to Titanfall 2.
Right, exactly.
Enough people said that, but it's cool. They have, like I said, those shorts, which I definitely recommend watching. Even if you don't really care about the canon of the characters, just the animation is gorgeous. It's cool. You have like the two Genji brothers, or I forgot their last name, but Genji and Hanzo, their brothers fighting. It's cool. Anyways, they have that, and then they also have webcomics. I've read some of them. There's like 12 of them right now. They're short, but they just introduce these little characters. It's cool.
I mean, it's cool that they do that, and Blizzard does great work with full CGI
universe building. And
well, not just that, but just like their actual animation department. Like, remember back in the day, like
all of them. Like World of Warcraft, like even when the Lich King came out, that was like the best cinematic trailer you've ever
that's
seen.
My point.
And the game is like crappy MMO.
And then someone made a movie about it, and we were like, why didn't you just make a long cinematic movie?
Exactly. So yeah, Overwatch did a lot of that, obviously. Couple other things. Watch The Killing Joke, David.
Real quick, before you move on to that, I want to talk about Overwatch. So, like, what are your like top 3 favorite characters?
Okay, so right now, Diva, with the changes they've made to her, she's my main right now. So much fun to play.
She's a like a mech. She has like a giant mech suit.
Yeah, she drives a mech. Your mech can blow up and you pop out, and you can your next assault.
She reminds me of like a cross between like Mech Assault and Samus from Metroid.
Yeah, kind of. And her personality is cool. Her personality is like she plays online games. She's like GG and like stuff like that, which is kind of cool.
Very meta, yeah.
And then I like Torb on defense. He's the guy that builds a turret. He's the dwarf. Hard work pays off.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
That guy's cool. And then it's mixed between Soldier 76, which is like the guy you start with. He's
That's
the most typical.
Yeah, to give me a
FPS
machine gun.
Yeah, and
grenades.
And
yeah. Okay.
Well, he doesn't have grenades, but yeah.
Grenades shoot out of his
the missile.
Yeah, whatever.
Helix missiles, David.
Stop it.
Or Roadhog. I like Roadhog.
See, I don't
the
enjoy
big fat guy with the chain.
I don't like any of the giant tank characters because I like speed. We talked about this last week when I was playing Doom. I enjoy like the speed. So Soldier
76.
He has like one of his abilities is just he can run.
Sprint, yeah.
Yeah, and that's like I wish every character had that.
You should check out Tracer.
Yeah.
Or Genji.
Yeah, I think I would like Tracer.
But these are two characters that like if you become good at them, like they're super annoying. Like they're the most annoying.
Right,
characters.
they're like Chun-Li bouncing all over the screen.
Yeah, but
right?
if you're not good at them, then it's like you suck.
No, I know. I think it's just recently because I got through that Doom thing. Like everything feels super slow.
Let's try those out tonight.
I should try out Tracer. All right. Yeah, I'm sure.
Tonight.
Yeah, we'll play.
You won't even know because this is 2 days in the past for you. Anyways, watch the Batman Killing Joke came out.
Yes,
on digital download.
Animated movie from the Warner Brothers studio.
Yes, David. Let me preface this that I'm going to give my opinions on this.
Are you going to spoil anything?
Well, I mean, this has been a very popular comic.
Yeah, but
I'll mention not specific beats, but overall. But anyways, I'll preface this by saying I'm not the biggest Batman fan.
Okay.
I think most people in this podcast would know. I'm not a big fan of Batman. I prefer Marvel characters, but even then, I don't know like their backstories or the old comics.
You're a Marvel kid. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyways,
all right, that's fine.
I never read this graphic novel when it came out.
Okay.
All I heard around it was very controversial.
Yes.
It had some graphic stuff in it.
Alan Moore, yeah, definitely. It went.
And he later regretted the story. I shouldn't have did that. But anyway, I digress.
I think that was just to give more press. It's like I shouldn't have wrote it, and it's like, oh, even the author thought it was so bad. Now I gotta read it.
Well, then I've heard that this is one of the most popular Batman stories. It's in the it's in the canon of the Batman, like the way the Joker is presented and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I was like, oh, there's a lot of hype around this. I'm really excited to see this as someone who doesn't really like Batman, whatever.
But you like the animated series. You like the...
No, yeah, I guess what I mean... I like Batman. I'm just not the biggest. I don't know. I'm not the hugest Batman nerd. You know what I mean?
love Batman. You're just not in love with
exactly.
Batman. Exactly. Okay. Anyways.
Those bat nipples. Anyways.
So stupid.
Batman Forever. Is
Sorry.
such a good movie.
No, it's not.
Anyways, this is not good, David. The Killing Joke was not good.
Yeah, I watched it. It is very faithful to the original comic. In fact,
other than the very beginning, I think 30 minutes or so.
Yeah,
right?
the first act of the comic, it's a comic book, so it's hard to make like how long was it? It's probably like an hour and 15, 20 minutes long. The
It's
animated
pretty
movie.
short, yeah.
So it's hard to stretch probably, I forget how many pages it is, but
I guess it's not very long.
No, it's not. So they had to add a kind of a first act to lead up to kind of the comic portion of this animated movie. And I think the Killing Joke suffers from a couple problems. One is that we've told a lot of Batman stories in other media, like a lot of what is in the Killing Joke is about the relationship specifically between Batman and the Joker and why they both either have to exist or they're the polar opposite of each other, right?
Yeah, you can't have me or you can't be you without me or something like that.
Right. Like a Joker wants Batman. He doesn't want to kill Batman because it's
there's no man without Joker. There's no Joker.
Right.
Without Batman.
And so there's a little bit of that, and then but a lot of the parts of the Killing Joke are about this idea of can someone become the Joker? Like, can you break somebody to the point in which they choose madness over sanity?
Right.
And that's been done in a lot of movies. The one that jumps out at me that I thought was kind of tackles this issue of, do you do the despicable thing? It's one of those things. Okay, like it's pushing somebody beyond the point of doing the right thing, doing what's morally correct, despite the fact that everything in their body tells them to do something with vengeance or revenge. Right. So, The Dark Knight. It's the scene with the two boats. Heath Ledger's Joker says, "I have a bomb on each one of them.
Wow, that is literally the same exact thing.
If you set the bomb off on the other one, then you live, and you don't know if the other people on the other boat."
Not only that, but one boat is full of prisoners, so they're obviously going to be the ones you blow up. But the civilians,
right?
He's
so
trying to turn the civilians.
That's the problem.
murderers.
Is that the Killing Joke has a little bit of that motif running through it. And in other animated Batman movies have tackled that issue. So this is a very celebrated comic or graphic novel, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care what you call it, but because of all of the other times that we've seen this kind of played out and portrayed, it doesn't have the same punch as it did when it came out. But the issue here, not the issue, but the reason why this is just, it doesn't matter, is that Mark Hamill is the Joker's voice, and Kevin O'Connor, I believe that's who does Batman's voice, is doing the original Batman animated series. So it doesn't matter because those two could literally just read the phone book, and I'd just be in those voices, and it would be great.
But their voices don't make this movie anything close to great.
I don't think it's
bad.
Cool
I don't think it's bad. Reprise their roles, but that's pretty much it.
But I think the reason why it doesn't have the same punch is because you've seen this before. You've seen the Joker make Batman and other characters have to make difficult choices, and
I honestly didn't make that connection. I get what the meaning of it, but I didn't get the connection like this has been done before.
Well, that's how I felt.
My thing was it was more shock. Like there was no real substance to the story, especially by the end.
That's the whole point of the end. That's the point. Is it's kind of like.
Did I miss it?
I think you kind of miss it at the end. I actually like the ending of it. I'm not going to spoil it, but I like the ending of it because it's very faithful. But there are parts of this animated movie that are lifted,
that's the point.
Well, directly from the comic, which is okay as long as it feels out of place. There's portions of this, like specifically, and this is not spoiling anything. There's a long prose or monologue that Joker goes on. Actually, it's dialogue. He's talking to somebody. Dialogue about something. In the comic book, it's a very long diatribe. He goes on for 4 minutes of talking.
A lot of panels.
Right, which is just awkward for a animated movie. In a comic, it's different, right?
I guess.
It's what I always say. It's the participating media versus the non-participating. Like if you're reading something, you're having to force your own ideas of what you force motion. You force additional portions, like when you're reading a book.
You're doing the imagination in your head.
Right.
Whereas,
Whereas like a movie, or in this case a cartoon, everything is just given to you. It's boiled.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
spit right into your eyes, right? So there's less imagination. So it suffers from that. I'm glad they did it. I think it's a great story. They don't go, and maybe this is just my opinion. The R rating in this is a very I don't know how it got the R.
I was expecting a lot more.
I think it's just because it's a cartoon. So
is there more in the graphic novel?
It goes it insinuates a lot more. It definitely insinuates some more terrible things. I was surprised they did it here. But they didn't go as far as I thought they were going to go. But you have to remember it's a Batman cartoon.
No, I know, but after seeing, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a little for a cartoon that has Batman in it.
And you have that mentality of, like you said, the voices are there. So you have the mentality of the animated series, like you're a kid again. You're like, oh my God, he's taking off her shirt.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's a little weird. There's definitely some weird sexual assault stuff. The saving
grace of this movie for me is Joker's backstory. And
I like it better when he doesn't have a backstory.
Because I never knew any of that kind of stuff, and to me that's like new content, so it's interesting.
It's not new though. They've done that in games, in video games. They've hashed that out, and all of the Arkham games. I don't know if you've beat them, but they've gone over all this story.
I know.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't have the same thematic and storytelling and narrative punch, because I know all this, not just from the comic, but I've seen it played out in animation through video games, and I personally like the idea of Joker's narrative being 10 million different things. I like the idea of Heath Ledger saying, I got these scars, and it changes every time, so you never know how he actually got the scars. That's the whole point. Is where does crazy come from? I don't want to know.
True.
It's even creepier when I don't know. Because here's the idea. If I know what made you the Joker, then maybe I can fix you. But if I don't know, then I don't know
I don't know.
That's even frightening.
I guess this movie totally went over my head, and that's why I didn't like it.
I think
next thing,
it's worth seeing. It's worth renting. I wouldn't buy it. There's much better animated movies with Batman in them. But it's good that they did it. They can kind of check that off the box. Now there was some controversy surrounding it, which you told me at Comic-Con.
Yeah, at Comic-Con, because the first 30 minutes tell Batgirl's story, and Batgirl is obviously a very important heroine in that DC universe. She's a strong female character, which is something you don't see very often.
Right.
And the first 30 minutes of this movie kind of makes her into a more hollow, shallow person who's just doing it for Batman's...
well, she's just doing it for to draw his
attention of a man.
Attention, yeah.
And so there was fans were asking questions to the writers at the panel and stuff.
Why did you do that? Why did you choose that story over?
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the writers got all upset. Check it out. It's
no, the writers on the panel started having an argument within themselves.
Exactly. And just check it out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so for me, I understand what they were trying to go for. Once you see the movie, I think it makes more sense, or the animated movie, or whatever you want to call it.
It's a movie, David.
But it kind of falls flat because it's I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not a director, and I'm definitely not a writer, but it just didn't feel. It felt weird.
It felt hollow to me.
Well, it just felt like.
Okay.
There's just not enough motivation there. I don't know. It's weird because I don't mind taking characters and giving them new backgrounds and new things like that, but you also have to be very careful because you're gonna clearly draw. Why are you doing that?
And not just that, but especially in this day and age when they're these kind of properties are desperate to find strong female minority characters and stuff and trying to bring them in.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect opportunity to sell that to a new generation. And they just. Effed it up.
There's just also things in the. I'm not. This is more bad. We'll do a Batman. We've already done a Batman episode. I could do a whole other one. We'll get to that later.
Maybe when Batman comes out with his first Batfleck comes out with his.
Yeah, exactly. I got lots of stuff to talk about, but let's go on. Let's move on.
Next thing, got a couple other things here. Cracker Barrel, iconic Southern comfort food restaurant.
Yes, if you don't
opened in Vegas. Just technically Henderson.
4 days ago or something.
5 days ago. At the time we're recording.
Yeah, normally you have to go to the closest places like Utah or Arizona or California. I think they're in California.
I don't think they're in California. I mean, I don't remember seeing them in SoCal when I lived there.
There's too many progressives living out there. I'm just kidding.
Right. Anyways, so I want to see what the hype was about. Apparently, this was a big deal. Cracker Barrel is amazing. They got the front porch, David.
Yeah, it's definitely. It looks like an old school restaurant, like a mom and pop.
They have a big gift shop, kind of like a Rainforest Cafe. When you first walk in, they sell clothes and all this ridiculous.
They have
stuff. Toys, old candy. They have preserves.
Yeah, you get a
just
jams
pickled
and jellies.
garlic.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a bunch of stuff.
They have the area where you can go pick rocks. Remember, when you were a kid, and you'd buy like the rocks.
Yeah.
And then
bag of rocks.
oh, do you have any like wind-up toys? Got to get those. Got wind-up toys. How about a mood ring? You want a mood ring?
Yeah, all that stuff's there, and it's cool. They have like a UNLV section. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
anyways, so wife and I went there last night.
how long was the wait?
They told us an hour and a half to 2 hours. Jeez. It was very busy. And if you know the restaurant, they have a big porch of rocking chairs, which is kind of cool. And they had misters out for everyone. That thing was packed.
Do they have chess? They always have like
checkers.
Checkers. Oh yeah,
a couple checkers tables.
Listen, we're not elite. We play checkers.
This is a South, David.
I'm from the South, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, so it's okay.
Anyways,
we play checkers.
Ended up waiting about an hour, so it went quicker. So I think it's the more like under promise, over deliver.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
always a good idea.
Yeah, good idea. And it was worth it, David. This food was amazing.
Yes.
I literally felt like I was at my great grandma's kitchen.
Yep.
My brother and I would go over. She's like, "What do you want for lunch?" And she brings out 6 different random things. And because you order like your meal and you get 3 sides. David, ordered I like to call it the tour of Italy of the South.
Yes. So what do we call it?
Sampler.
Tour of Arkansas.
Yeah. Came with chicken in dumplings, David. That's how it's spelled.
Chicken
on
and
the
dumplings.
menu.
Question. Wait. Before you move on, we got to talk about what kind of chicken and dumplings, because there's different types.
I will explain to that.
Okay.
I have a
All right.
question about chicken and dumplings.
Yes, I might have an
chicken
answer for
and dumplings. Excuse me.
Exactly.
Meatloaf and sugar ham. There's like sugar cured ham.
Yes.
And it came with 3 sides. I got mac and cheese grits, doubled up on the cheese there, David.
Smart.
Because why not? And then summer salad, which is like a cucumber, tomato, onions. I mean, I got 2 cheese entrees, David. I got to split up a little bit with the veg. Come on now.
So apparently your Pokemon Go, you've lost a lot of calories, but you're going to make it all up right
Exactly. And then you had a choice of buttermilk or cornbread muffins or one of each. David, I went with one of each. Because why wouldn't you, right?
Right not.
When in Rome.
Come on. Exactly.
When in Arkansas. Yeah.
When in Arkansas.
And then I got sweet tea. So let me review my meal here, David.
Okay, so let's start it off.
Sweet tea is probably the best sweet tea I've ever had.
You think so?
For one. Yeah, because like you have like, okay, I like tea a lot and I like sweet tea a lot. You have quite the spectrum here. You have like super sweet like McDonald's or like
it's
Mexican restaurants that are super sweet and those can be good. And then
but
you
it's
have
not like
not
something.
Sweet.
See, when it's too sweet, I can't drink it like a beverage. I have to drink it like a dessert. You know what I mean?
I can, but you feel like garbage.
No, but that's my point. Like it's not like. It's not palate cleansing like a normal drink would be. It's more just like, I'd like a dessert in the middle of my salad.
Exactly. But this tea was just perfect. It's perfect amount of sugar.
See, it needs to be more lemony than it needs to be sugary for me.
She shoved it with lemon. I'm like, that's weird because normally you don't get lemon with sweet tea.
You're right.
But when you mix it, so
good. That's good.
So that was just the drink, David. Just wait till you get
all right, so it was just a drink.
All right, so chicken and dumplings, right?
Yes.
So, as far as I know, it's kind of like chicken noodle soup with big all noodles. Is that correct?
There's 2 different ways you can make chicken and dumplings.
Okay.
The way you are, the soup style where it's, like soup with bits of like noodle type thing, that's one way. Another way is kind of like I think a casserole with biscuit dough put on certain, like all over, and then that cooks up in certain areas, and then you kind of take like
scoop it out, right?
Like think of like
it's like a thick stew almost.
Think of like the equivalent would be like a chicken pot pie inside. The inside of a chicken pot pie with biscuit dough topped on top.
So definitely not that. It's
that's
the one
a different
with like big pieces of noodle. It feels like, is it pasta?
Yeah, it's like a pot. It's sort of.
Yeah,
it's a
potato-y
pasta type thing.
Yeah, that. And like it's not like a soup. It's more like a like the casserole, like inside like a creamy,
like a chowder.
Yeah, very good. Chicken is amazing.
Yeah.
Except that
both are good.
My dumplings, they were like 4 stacked on top of each other, so it was just a big mass of like dough.
You complaining?
No, it's still good.
The dumpling's the best part of chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, so that was excellent. The meatloaf was a little dry, but just really good. A lot of flavor.
Did it have like a sauce, like a meatloaf sauce, like a ketchup glaze?
Yeah, it had the typical like on the top. It was just a slice. You got the top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so really solid. And then the sugar.
Wait, meatloaf. Did it have bits of like vegetable in it? Because I have a big problem with that.
Little tiny. I think they were veg. Definitely onions, but I thought I saw some green.
Yeah, I like veggie-less meatloaf. Like, you can mix
it. It's called a meatloaf, not a meat and veg loaf.
No, but I'm talking like you can see the bits of. It's almost like when they put carrots in Jello. I'm like, what are you doing?
Gross.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah. Stop it.
Stop trying to make me eat carrots. It's not.
I'm not gonna do it, Mom.
I mean, carrot cake is good, but you gotta put a lot of cream cheese frosting on that. All right.
So those julienne carrots gotta be real thin, man. Don't mess with me here on this. Anywho, and then the sugar ham was of course.
Sugar ham is probably the one that piqued my interest. I love ham, and I love like the good glaze on a ham is like amazing. It's like candy.
Yeah, it was just a couple slices. Like I said, this is the sampler we got.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
So they're small portions, but yeah, the crust was really good, super sweet.
Okay,
just really good, super.
I'm actually really hungry now. But
we should go.
Yeah, we should go
and wait for it 2 hours.
Sides, mac and cheese. Okay,
yes, mac and cheese. Oh, that mac and cheese, so good.
Yellow or white? Is it like a white colored cheese or a yellowy?
No, it's your traditional yellow.
Okay, because you can have mac and cheese like a white cheese, like a Vermont cheddar.
Yeah, if you're gonna go classy with thumbs out with it, pinkies out with it, you don't want to do that.
So it's just a straight up mac and cheese.
Yeah, definitely a couple cheeses going on there. I don't know, but it tasted really good.
Okay,
and then the cheese grits were not very good. I shouldn't have ordered them, honestly. I'm trying to get into these grits. I'm not a grits person.
See,
but I had some good.
It's just polenta. I mean, I know probably
we had some really good cheese polenta at this restaurant at the Bellagio. We're trying to find.
It's the same thing.
This one, just say that oatmeal with like some cheddar on top was all right.
Wow, that makes it sound really bad.
Yeah.
No, cheese grits are good. I'm not a huge grits guy. Like I said, I prefer like almost any other side, like cream spinach. Get down to some cream spinach. Like, get down. I will eat like Popeye would be impressed. I'd eat so much damn cream spinach.
And then I had the summer salad, which is good. You got the tomatoes.
That's just
got a vinaigrette. It's typical.
Whatever.
It's just tomatoes, cucumbers, onion. You don't like summer salad? Wait, I used to make my own summer.
Tomatoes, cucumbers, and what?
Onion, like red onion.
Oh,
the summer salad. That and just
that's
like
what that's called.
Vinaigrette. Yeah,
it's okay.
Really? So
wait, did you have a choice? Did you have a choice of a third? Like a different? You could have went with something else.
Yeah, 3 sides. You get 3 sides.
Where was the cream spinach, bro?
I know. So
you don't like
I
cream
feel
spinach?
like the summer salad. It was really hot outside. So back in the day,
babe. Hey.
David is what I meant to say.
It's okay.
Been friends for a long time. At the ranch, we used to grow our own cucumbers and tomatoes and make our own summer salad.
Okay. Well, see, this is the difference. Okay, and a lot of people probably have never had a fresh tomato, but a fresh tomato tastes a lot different than what you get at a grocery.
Like an apple.
Well, that and it tastes different. Like it tastes better. It tastes more tomatoey. The only time tomato stuff tastes like tomato, in all honesty, is when you buy the cans, and I know that sounds weird, cans of whole tomato from good companies, because they cook them right off the vine. And so I don't know. It just
on the vine tomatoes you can get that are sometimes good, but mostly the other ones are just white.
Well, they just taste like nothing because it's like
it's
all
like water, like watermelon. It's just except not sweet, just water.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, anyways,
good stuff.
That's why you like it because you have nostalgia.
But
which one was better? We've got a buttermilk biscuit and a cornbread muffin.
Oh yeah, whoa! Almost forgot about
this is the real.
Cornbread muffin was good. I like a sweet cornbread muffin, which just was not. But it was good.
Southern style is not sweet. It's we make one that I make from Cook's Country, which is probably one of my favorite places. If you want to learn how to cook, go to PBS, Cook's Country, or America's Test Kitchen.
I've heard of America's Test Kitchen. I have that guy's book.
Yeah, so it's amazing. But they make there's a cornbread recipe that it's a Southern style cornbread, and it's very corn flavored.
Yeah.
And
it's
Alyssa loves it. She does not like the sweet cornbread.
Oh, I like the sweet.
Me too.
I know,
me too. I'm the same way.
But the biscuit, oh my God, David, the biscuit.
The
buttermilk biscuit, so good. My wife got chicken fried steak, and I took some of her gravy.
The sawmill gravy? So white gravy, right?
Yes,
okay,
course,
good. I was just checking. Hey, you can put brown gravy on a chicken fried steak if you want to go move to a different country.
Anyway, before I get to the dessert, David, everything just together just tasted so good. Like I said, I felt like I was at my great-grandma's house.
That's good.
Getting lunch. All the sides came on separate little bowls, just like your grandma would serve.
Take a nap on the porch.
I should have.
On that rocking chair.
Just really good. Check it out. It's great.
And they're not terribly expensive. I mean, it's not. It's like it's probably like what for yours it would sound like there's probably a little bit of coin there, but
so I had a blackberry cobbler, which is
oh my God,
David, so
they put
with a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
I was gonna say they put and melted
and it was like good vanilla ice cream too.
Yeah,
so
you can see the flecks of vanilla bean in it.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
With my meal, and Sarah got her chicken fried steak meal, a couple sides as well, and then a apple pie.
She got apple pie. I'm not a fan of apple pie.
She took it home. She was too full.
Yeah.
Anyway, so of course.
Yeah.
But all of that with 2 drinks, I got tea and she got like a Coke or something. It was like $36.
Yeah, so $40.
We got a lot of food.
Well, for you, it's like $37. That's
an
inside joke.
That's a callback right there. But yeah, really, really good food. I recommend everyone go check it out. I'm definitely gonna go back. They do have a breakfast. You can order breakfast anytime, by the way. And I was so close to ordering breakfast, but I'm like, breakfast food is really hard to kind of. I mean, it's going to be amazing, but like. They're Southern cooking food, I gotta eat that.
Yeah, it's really good. Every time we go, it's like that road trip food. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's definitely that, but it's nice that we have one here. I wish it wasn't across the city. It feels like
for you're even closer than we are.
I know, but it's like everything here is like 30 minutes away.
Yeah, it took us 30 minutes to get back home.
Yeah, I'll wait till it dies down a little bit. But it is funny that it's at the Silverton, right?
Which right behind it.
They
It's
are
not in it. It's like right behind it.
Yeah, but they got like the Bass Pro Shop over there.
Yeah.
They got the Silverton. Now they know what they're marketing to.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
it's literally the south part of Vegas.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's definitely worth it. So I would recommend checking that out. We had a cousin. They do this all the time. They'll get us gift cards to restaurants that aren't in Vegas.
Jerks.
I know. So we have a gift card to Cracker Barrel. So now we can
finally
use it.
Yeah.
Or we would go on road trips with him. That was the whole joke. One year he got my sister, I think it was like $100 in or what are they called? Gift certificates? Not gift certificates. You know, when you might not know this in Vegas. When you cash out now, you don't you get like a little receipt.
Cash receipt,
and you bring it up to the cashier and they give you actual money. He went to like 10 different casinos and got $10. So she had to go to every casino to turn it in. So
like he got back home where Vegas is not in.
Yeah.
And gave her, here you go, $100. I got you. You got to go back to Vegas to redeem it, though.
Right.
It's kind of cool because you're like forcing the.
But not just that, but she had to go to like 10 different casinos to turn them in. It was pretty funny. Anyways.
So yeah, check it out. It's great. And then the last thing I got here is I finished this book I was reading in between Star Wars books. If you're on our YouTube, you can see the book.
Yeah, props. This
is Armada, written by Ernest Cline. This is his second book after Ready Player One, which I'm pretty sure I talked about on the show. I think we were doing the podcast when I finished that book. But this kind of fits the same mold. It's sci-fi, video game stuff, tons of 80s references.
Is it set in the like 80s?
No, it's set in the modern times. Here's kind of the general plot. Well, I'm not spoiling anything here, but for years there have been obviously science fiction movies.
Hold
and video games.
Hold on. The main character's name is Zach Lightman.
Yeah, his dad's name is Xavier Lightman.
Yeah, you know what? That's all you needed to say. Come on.
It's about the kid who really is good at playing the specific video game called Armada, created by this company who makes another game, and really good at playing games about fighting. God, I'm really explaining this horribly.
It's a coming-of-age adventure.
Yeah. Thanks for reading the side of the book. But anyway, he plays this game about fighting aliens, all this stuff, and suddenly, maybe the game is more real than he thought.
Oh no!
Dun dun dun! But it's really good. It's a real fun read.
It's not too long.
It's
not
350 pages.
Yeah, that's good.
But if you've read Ready Player One, it's kind of the same like sci-fi-ness with all the cool 80s references and the video game stuff.
Yeah, if you like video games, this is definitely the way to go, right?
Yeah, really good book. Check it out.
This is, you said, his second book, right?
His second book, yeah. Already been picked up for a movie. If you know, Spielberg is doing Ready Player One. I think it comes out next year. It was kind of funny, David. His third book got optioned for like a 7-figure deal with a picture.
Well, we got a 7-figure deal for our third podcast, but I just didn't want. I didn't want money to influence this podcast, so I told them no.
Oh, I'll sell that right now, David.
For like $15.
Yeah.
What do you want me to advertise?
Advertise anything. I'll do anything.
Anyways,
yeah, check it out. Give it a 4 out of 5.
On what? Amazon or something? Are you one of those
No,
guys?
that's fine. I'll give it a 7 out of 9.5.
That's good. Okay. Is it better than the first book, Ready Player One? Is it set in the same world?
No, not in the same universe.
Okay.
Because Ready Player One is set in like not necessarily, kind of post-apocalyptic future. This is more modern times. I think that the year is like 2018 by the time this book ends. So
it seems like it says there's a lot of inside meta jokes.
This is all for Ready Player One.
Oh, okay.
Praise for Ready Player One.
Oh, okay. See, I find that weird. I mean, I understand. Like, hey, did you like my first book? You love my second book, right?
It's a blurb, but it's like I don't want you to read my second book.
What do you mean?
Well, these are called blurbs, right?
No, I know, but it's just weird for the back of the book to talk all about his first book. It's like, why don't you tell me what they said about your new book? But anyways.
Well, his first book.
4 out of 5. We can just write that in with a pen on the back here.
Yeah, Gerald, sit down, standard.
Cool.
But yeah, definitely check it out if you like these kind of books. And obviously check out Ready Player One if you have not read that as
just
well.
A more general question. Are you a guy that keeps this paper cover on? I just take these off and throw them away.
While I read? You throw them away?
Yeah, I just throw these away. I don't like the outside. You're that guy?
That's heresy.
You want to hear
I don't have it on when I read it. I take it off and put it on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And then when I read it, because I don't get my grubby hands.
It's the same thing with
David. YouTube. Look at this. If David threw this away, this is a graphic of the Interceptor in the book.
Sorry.
How do you throw that away, David? I would almost frame this if I was that much of a
Here, I'll tell you all the other. Here, I'm gonna call myself out here. Inserts on board games, throw those away.
What's an insert? Like the books?
No, the inserts on like board games, like unless they're set, like they have little like containers, like areas for things that fit specifically. Uh-huh. Like if it's just a divider, like some of them will just have like, oh, you put the cards in the middle and the board sits on top. I throw all that out. And some board gamers are like, what? That's
I
part of
don't
the
care
game.
about that so much.
No, and
like,
the same thing with like the sleeve. Sometimes you buy even a DVD or a video game or whatever, and it has the jewel case, like the actual thing, and then it comes with like a sleeve over the top of it. I throw that away too.
most time I would that as well.
See, I don't know. I used to.
This is like the limited edition tin. Can't throw that out, man.
All right.
No, but how dare you throw those out?
Sorry,
David?
man. I
How
don't
dare
care.
you?
I you know what it is. Well, now I've moved.
Why
I have less
why
and
would
less.
you throw it out?
I have less and less of that stuff because I just buy it all digitally now, like Kindle and stuff like that. So I don't have to worry about it. I just don't care. I'm like, because it gets in the way, it gets ripped.
Well, no, you put it somewhere else while you're reading it, and then when you're done with it, you put it back on the book and put it in your bookshelf.
I have enough junk in my life, man. I got junk in my trunk.
You're junk. Anyway, that's all I got. Definitely read the book. David, what's
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked about Dave, I've been talking for like a half hour.
Okay.
People are done
Whoa.
with me. They're over my voice, David.
All right, let's talk about what I did for the week. Okay, first thing, I watched a new television show that is premiered on HBO a couple weeks ago called Vice Principals.
Oh, yes. I watched the first episode as well.
What's the guy's name that's the main character?
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride is one of the main characters in here.
He plays Danny McBride.
Yeah, he plays the same character he played in Eastbound and Down. Sort of. Okay, so the story of the TV show is there's these two characters that pretty much they're faculty at this high school, and they hate each other. And
they're both vice principals.
They're both vice principals?
Yes.
How do you have... I had one vice principal, hence the vice part.
I think I had one too. This is just one of those schools.
Needs a couple?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're both, because, they were both up for the promotion.
I thought he was. I thought Danny McBride's character is a vice principal, the other person some kind of faculty. Maybe
Isn't the show called Vice Principals? I'm going to look at
Anyways.
David, keep looking.
Anyways. The principal of the school, who was played by Bill Murray, his wife unfortunately becomes sick.
Nice cameo, by the way.
Yeah, nice little cameo at the beginning, and he's actually his lines in it are hilarious. His wife got sick, and so he's retiring to take care of her, and someone's got to replace him. So these two characters, Danny McBride and the other guy whose name
Willem
is
Goggins.
Willem Goggins.
It's big if you watch The Shield. That's like my iconic thing I picture from. But yeah.
Okay, so they are both the two different characters in this.
They are vice principals.
Okay, they're both vice principals, and they both are competing to try to get this job, but they hate each other, and they just
polar opposites. One's like super strict on the rules, Danny McBride character, and the other one's like lenient. He's like the cool guy with the other teachers.
Yeah, everyone likes him. Whereas it's the
and Danny McBride's father used to be the principal back in the day, so it's kind of like of course I should be principal.
My dad was a principal. Yeah. But it's this idea of being ruled by fear or being ruled by admiration and love. That's kind of the two characters. I'm not going to give too much away, but neither of them get the position, and the person who does get the position, they are
outside hire.
They are essentially become this enemy of my enemy is my friend. So then they have to team up to take down the new principal. And it is essentially, it seems like what they're going for is Game of Thrones comedy style set at a high school. Because some of the dialogue here is like Game of Thrones, because it's like the character who's very nice and very loving, and I think of like for instance, oh God, I can't remember her name. Marjorie Tyrell. She's very loving, but when you get her in a room by herself and she's about to tell you something, she's like, "Listen, if you mess with me, I will take you outside and I will, you'll be dead before you hit the ground." You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that. But it's funny. But the problem that I have is that Danny McBride is playing the same character. He's
Did you watch Eastbound and Down?
I watched some of it, not all of it, but some of it.
Eastbound and Down is excellent.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Especially the first two seasons. Kind of drops off for the third. I think the third is
a lot of comedies have that.
Very
problem.
good. But it is pretty much the same character, the way he does. And the same thing as like in most of the movies he's in.
It's like Bad Teacher, right? It's like Bad Teacher, the movie.
Yeah, it's the same guy who created Eastbound and Down, so it's got that same feel.
And Danny McBride helped write it too, so those guys are all writers on it.
Green, or I don't know, something like that.
It's good, it's fun, it made me laugh out loud a couple
Definitely
times.
not as funny as Eastbound and Down, but I liked it as well. I'll keep watching it and report back if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Weekly Vice Principals.
The thing that I find it does what is always great from like the shows like The Office or I'm trying to think of it, like Parks and Rec. It's that cringe. They take the level of cringe to 11. Somebody will do something that you're like, oh God, why? Like it's so funny because they're just like, why are you doing that? Like don't do that.
It's just dark comedy. I really like dark comedy when it's just like very inappropriate, you know, and stuff like that. Did you see his movie Observe and Report?
No.
Yeah, same guy who does these two shows, except that, have you heard of the movie?
No, I have not.
Oh, I should check it out. It's real messed up. But, it's good. But anyway, same guy. It's just dark comedy, dark
Yeah.
humor.
So that's what I was watching this week. I played a new game. Well, new to me, but it's a reprint of a game that's been out for a while. It's called Village.
Oh, this is M. Night Shyamalan, or isn't that this one, David?
Yeah, this is the one where you think you're
Do you
playing
play the monster? Or?
No. This is an older game that was reprinted recently by Stronghold Games. They kept pretty much everything the same. There's, I think, some small changes. But it was, I believe it won the Kennerspiel when it came out, which is like
Kennerspiel.
the Kennerspiel des Jahres. That is the connoisseur, or more like the expert level board game award that is given away to
The super heavy games.
board gamers. Would argue with you because
I don't care, board gamers.
no, but like the high end strategy aren't even like nominated. Like if it's too strategic, like it feels like we can't give that. Like their normal board game award, the Spiel des Jahres, is usually given to like people would almost say like a lightweight game, and then this is like medium light. Anyways,
okay.
I digress. Village is a worker placement game, so you know Gerald loves it. But it has a very worker placement is part of it. But in this game, what you are doing is you are playing a family. And throughout the game, you have meeples, just like those are your little characters, that your little workers or people that you put on the map. And they are numbered from 1 to 4. You have a group of 1s, you have a group of 2s, a group of 3s, and a group of 4s. And those are the generations of your family. Throughout this game, one of the mechanics is that time will be passing. Things when you're going to, start doing, producing different goods or selling them out in the market.
Like seasons almost.
Seasons, yes. Good. That's actually a good way to think about it. And every time a certain amount of time passes by, one of your family members or your meeples dies. So this game makes mortality fun.
Oh, so it's like a legacy.
It's a legacy thing, but there at the bottom right of the board there is what's called the Village Chronicle. And if you are lucky enough and one of your family members dies in the appropriate place, dies doing what they loved or helping the people of the village, then their meeple will go into the Village Chronicle, and you get more points at the end of the game if your characters died and were put into the Village Chronicle. What's actually kind of sad is if a particular area is filled up and there's no more room in the Chronicle for that particular type of worker to die, they go in an unmarked grave.
Oh, wow. That's like polar opposites there.
Yeah, it's pretty
You're
good.
either like everyone in the town loves you, or everyone in the town hates you.
Yeah, so that part's pretty cool, but it's maintaining when you try to, in most worker placement games, you're getting stuff and then you're turning it in. You're getting stuff and you're turning it in for victory points, right? You make something and then you go sell it, right? That's a pretty standard mechanic. But in this game, you can either use resources to buy things and then sell them, or you can use time. And there's a bit of a race to kind of kill off your family at certain times. Because they'll go into the Chronicle. There's a race to fill up that Chronicle book.
Right.
So people who die at the market, being the best, merchant of the land, will go into the Village Chronicle. But after that gets filled up, no one else. You don't want your characters to die there. There's also a mechanic of you want to leave your characters on the board longer because they get better rewards if they stay on longer. But as you get more workers, you only can get the next generation. So if you have all of your 1s, which you start with, and you breed or have a new...
Nice. My kind of game.
Yeah, you go to the love hut, as we like to call it. You get a meeple that has a 2 on it. And then when someone dies, you always pick the lowest number. If there's a tie, you get to pick. So it's just... You don't want to put a 1 on a space that you want to progress because they're going to be the first to die.
Right.
So there's no unfortunate accidents that happen in the village. Everyone dies in the way they were born. It is different because it makes you think about different things, and it kind of plays tricks on you because in most games you don't want to lose workers. You want your workers to thrive.
Course, yeah.
But in this game it's like you want to strategically murder your characters at the appropriate moment.
And bang out new ones.
Exactly. It's a fun game. It's me and Jordan played it on Tabletopia. It takes probably about 15-20 minutes to kind of explain the like all the different spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah, I watched the video. I don't think it's my kind of game.
I don't know. You like more, interactive games. This has a little bit of it because, again, always with worker placements, space, and in this case, kind of there's that race mechanic of trying to get there first. But it doesn't have a lot of player interaction.
No, I want to set your house on fire. That's
the
kind of game I want to do.
I know. You're
set
that
your
kind
crops
of
on fire.
Marathrash.
I'm the one who killed your generation.
So yeah, that's Village. Definitely check it out, and then I'll put links in the description of the video here so you can watch the Tabletopia version, which they have. And then, by the way, if you have Tabletopia, reach out to me. Send me. I want to play games with people online. sitdownstandard@gmail.com, and we'll set up a time.
Sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
I'm actually, tomorrow, which this will come out on Monday, so yesterday, when everyone hears this, I played a game with somebody on Kickstarter. So, again, if you have like a game that you're promoting on Kickstarter, you can there's tools to create your game on Tabletopia. It's really cool because then people can actually play like the digital version of your game to see if they want to back it.
The physical version of the game. Smart.
Right. You can play the digital version and then back the physical version. And then if you want to play it, if you need somebody to play with, just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to play with you. Any type of game. I'm not picky like Gerald over here.
Hey man, I don't have to. That's fun. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, I actually enjoy this game. I like this game because it's like, do I want to use time to make this, or do I want to use resources, or do I want to travel the land? I get into it.
Also, if you want to play Overwatch, you can hit me up. I will gladly play Overwatch with you.
The other thing, and I'm trying to think what else I did this week. I had so much stuff I did.
David, you know what helps?
What?
Taking notes.
Listen, most of the time I do take notes. Let's get into, let's do our standard review. I'll get to something else that I did, but I'll plug that at the end. This week for our standard review, we went and saw the movie
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Sorry, Matt Damon and Moby.
They're still playing that stupid Moby song from the original. Okay, so let's get into it. This is the fourth, some would say the fifth.
This is the fifth in the Jason Bourne's,
this doesn't
whatever.
Some people don't count the one with Jeremy Renner.
Well, no, because it's terrible. Bourne Legacy is terrible.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. Okay, anyways, let's talk about this movie. So this is the fourth one with Matt Damon
as Jason Bourne.
And in this movie, if you've seen the originals, which we're going to kind of inevitably spoil because when we talk about this, he's a spy who was part of a program. And
he's more of an assassin, more than
he's an assassin, and he works for the CIA, or he's operative or asset. Say asset a million times.
Say asset a lot.
Of the CIA, but they kind of brainwash him. And so at the beginning of the very first movie, The Bourne Identity, he's trying to find out.
He's got the amnesia. He's got the soap opera amnesia.
Exactly. Why do I know everyone's license plate?
Who am I? Who am I, damn it?
So at this point in the series, he has exposed some of
everything.
I remember everything. He has exposed portions of the programs that have been going on that have created like these quote unquote super assassins. And kind of we find him in this movie, kind of a loner.
Well, he's off the grid, David.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be bothered. He knows what happens when he bothers the CIA. They kill his girlfriend.
Right.
That's what happens.
Always don't fall in love with anyone in these movies.
Yeah, don't fall in love. So he's just off the grid.
He's Bruce Banner.
He's punching people around the world, fighting around the world,
drinking
David.
and fighting around the world.
That's what Matt Damon's doing.
Dude, by the way, Matt Damon. Like, I don't know this one.
It's the Mars potatoes, David.
Mars potatoes. No, dude's ripped. Like, I've never seen Matt Damon. Like, this is a kid from Good Will Hunting. What happened, man? He's yoked out of his mind. Anyways, so Julia Stiles, is that her name?
Yeah, she's back.
She's back in this movie, which she has not done a movie, I want to say, in almost a decade.
Do you really know, David, Julia Stiles' filmography? I don't.
But she hasn't been in a... She was big. She was big for a while.
Oh,
I mean, she was like a big actress. She's kind of disappeared and kind of fell off the map. Now, she might be doing movies, but nothing in the quote-unquote mainstream, right? So she comes back. She plays Nikki Parsons, who she played in the original three, or the original three with Matt Damon in them. And she's kind of trying to... You tried to get out.
I know about these secret programs. I'm going to reveal them to the world. They do tie in a lot of like public. I think they mentioned Snowden a couple times.
Yeah,
we've been hacked. This is not a spoiler, by the way.
It's on the trailer.
Worse than Snowden.
And it's and Bourne's there, and we got to go get him.
So a lot of the modern like surveillance stuff plays into this movie,
which is awesome. I actually that's part of these spy movies. I enjoy more of like, what do we think the NSA has? Like, let's make up the craziest thing that they could have, and like, let's put it in the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this other country's power grid and shut down this one place. Like, how do you do that?
Like, how do you do that? But then I go,
it makes it look convincing,
right? And then it's like they probably can't do that. Yeah, if like this podcast all of a sudden turns off, you know what happened. You know the truth.
We know too much, David.
But okay, then of course you have the classic Jason Bourne, realistic spy. They went. Before,
I remember everything, but I found out this one thing I didn't know, so now I gotta hunt the people.
Right.
It's okay, David.
It's the same movie.
It's the same movie.
Okay, let's do our standard review because I think
before we get into the bits,
remember? Oh, you had a new one, right? What is it?
No,
Thumbs
it's
up?
down, bad, side, meh, up is good.
Okay, I'm still gonna go with up is very good. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Both to the side.
Yeah,
it's meh. It is not a great movie. As far as even in these Bourne movies.
But the worst out of the four.
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so. I think by the third one, or maybe it was the second one. I think it's the second one I didn't really enjoy.
Oh my God, Supremacy is like the best one.
You think so?
About?
I can't remember which one is it, but
First
that's the problem. These movies run into each other it's always the same thing.
Well, first of all, David, I love these movies. These movies are so freaking awesome. Because it's like, you see a lot of these spy movies, the Bonds and all these
It's a reaction to the Bond movies.
But it's a more realistic take. You know, when cars run into each other, they don't explode in a huge explosion. They just get into an accident.
No,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And the fight scenes are so brutal. Jason Bourne picking up whatever he can see. Oh, I got a magazine. Hit you in the head with it. Got a coffee tin. Gonna hit you with that.
Right.
You know, so it's definitely more, what's the word? Visceral?
Visceral is the word.
And they got that shaky cam going.
Yeah. It's funny now because like that
should have filmed this on shaky cam.
it's part of like that. It's part of the blood of that. You know what I mean? That's what makes those movies. But now it's like
people standing in a corridor talking about, you know, where's the asset? And it's like they're just standing there, and it's like the camera's all moving around.
Yeah, but I will say that there's a couple things I like that they brought Julia Stiles back, but I'm not a director, but I'm like, I think practice makes perfect, and she hasn't been practicing for a while. Some of her lines are
I agree,
are not delivered and she's trying to say something very important and very, you know.
That's funny. I got the same exact.
And I was like, ooh,
I know exactly what you're talking
like
about.
I'm like, ooh, like that sounded like a line that you like line. What was it again? What am I supposed to say to Jason? Oh, okay. But you know, it's just like it feels forced, and she did a fine job. I think she was good in it, but it's just some of her lines were delivered in a way that felt like, ooh, you haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
The problem that I have with it's the same problem I have with a lot of Hulk stories and it's kind of the same way here. The reason I said he's Bruce Banner is because he constantly wants to walk away from the problems.
That's funny because I at the end of the movie, at the end of the climactic third act, there's a fight scene. No surprise there.
Yeah, of course. There's a car chase scene and there's a fight scene in this movie.
Yeah, which is the staple of every single one of these movies.
Exactly.
But it reminds me of like, you know, Family Guy when the chicken.
Yeah, the chicken.
And they fight, and after every single fight, he walks away in the sunset. Dun, 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 the music like, and then suddenly like the chicken opens his eyes. It's like the same thing. He's fighting the CIA, fighting the bad people, and at the end, there's another guy. You
right,
know
of
what I mean?
course.
There's another fight.
Yeah, of course. But it's definitely a reaction to all of the Bond, and this is why I think I don't enjoy these movies as much, is because Bond has turned into more of the realistic, actual visceral fight scenes.
Did you see Spectre?
I didn't see Spectre.
Okay.
But I'm saying I'm talking about Casino Royale. What was the other one? The one with the gas. Quantum of Solace. Those feel Skyfall was great. But those there was a kind of a turn back to, hey, we need to make these more realistic. And so Bourne was always a reaction to the invisible car. Like, let's be honest. That was it, right? When they did the invisible car, everyone went, okay, done. All right, this is stupid. The Bond invisible car and all of the Die
Another Day, I think, with Halle Berry.
That's my point. So it was refreshing. But now it's like, we've done this. And what I wanted them to do, and there is a underlying theme of this movie, and I thought they were going to go with it, and they sort of did, and this isn't spoiling anything. It's this idea of national security versus the privacy rights of people in the widespread of the internet.
Right.
And there's a couple lines in the trailer that they even talk about, like, it's this idea of like, you know, if you want to make the internet bigger and better and wider and have more freedom among it. Well, we have to protect our citizens as the CIA or the NSA. And that's hard to do. Like and I thought they were going to go that route because I'm like, that's interesting. It's like, hey, Google, Facebook, any kind of company that is all about, stopping, the
Apple, obviously.
Yeah, Apple, net neutrality, that whole argument there, about, hey, we still have to do our jobs. And when you make it not just people and you make it, internet IP sources that we have to work to protect, it's harder for us to do our job.
Right.
But then, of course, there's always that one that's like, well, what are you doing why are you mining all this data? And it's like, you know what I mean? So that's what I was hoping that the movie was going to be more about. And it has a little bit of that. But it's mostly about Jason Bourne fighting people around the world.
Yeah, it's good. They have a nice, the last car chase season in Vegas, baby. Woo!
Yeah, so we enjoyed that.
Of course, yeah, it's cool to see,
some continuity problems.
A SWAT. Yeah, it's like Bally's is next to the Riviera. What are you talking about?
Yeah, only Vegas people would do
that.
I think it would take you a lot. Well, first of all, why is there no traffic?
People first it was like no traffic, and then the truck, again, and this is the trailer, runs through those cars. I'm like, okay, that's By the way, that's a normal day on the strip traffic.
like, first
there's
of all,
accidents everywhere on the strip.
It's the whole time I'm watching it, like it seems like the cars are getting up to like 80 miles per hour. I'm like, have you ever driven on this strip? Like, you can never get up to 80 miles per hour.
Well, it's
like,
funny because they had this was announced obviously when they were filming there and they wanted extras and stuff. And I watched the footage after, like of the live footage of them filming. It was kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
everything's going really slow.
Of course, right.
Like the traffic going really slow, and the Charger's like weaving in and out. Of course, the shaky cam makes it everything.
Of course, and you just put in the
yeah, but it's nice to use a hotel we're about to explode by running a SWAT truck through it. Right?
Yeah,
it was
I
like,
know.
we're gonna blow up the Riviera anyway.
Drive a truck through it. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
But like I said, if you enjoy the spy genre, it's always a good time. It's a good romp. I think Matt Damon's great. He should do more.
By the way, he had like no lines in this movie.
That's what I was saying.
And they broke it down to how much he got for this movie and then how much per line. I think it's the most than any actor in a long time.
Oh, Arnold's got to touch him. Terminator 2, he said like 4 words.
Yeah, that was
right?
a long time ago.
No, but I mean, he made a lot of money. Terminator 2.
But that kind of thing, like he didn't
inflation.
have a lot of
if you did inflation, I bet it'd be pretty close.
But I was thinking about that during the movie because most of these kind of movies are like they're talking to themselves, like providing exposition to the
we
audience.
don't do that anymore, though.
Oh, that's definitely there.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't see that in movies as much.
And like, because this is a more rooted in realism movie, Jason Bourne is just opening up a cabinet, looking at the things, figuring it all out, and it leaves it to the audience to figure out what's going on, and I like that.
I like that, but sometimes it feels a little forced. Like he'll look at like a book, and it's like, go to Berlin. It's like,
oh, I'm gonna go to Berlin.
right. It's like,
but like, and I like that's not on the nose. But honestly, this movie compared to the other three, not talking about Renner, screw you, Legacy.
I like that one. I like Jeremy Renner, so maybe that's just me.
Oh, yeah, you do. But
Hawkeye, bro. He's a normal guy.
But this more seems like, obviously we said that the story is really similar, but this is more the story, but it's more for mainstream kind of thing. It's like they're selling Bourne to a newer audience. Because like I said, Ultimatum, it's been how many years?
It's been a while since that other one came out.
Yeah, definitely been a while. So it's more mainstream. That's why I think it's the worst out of the four. It's more.
It feels like the
very predictable. By the way,
the twist that you know were gonna happen.
Yeah, there was like one twist. I was like, oh, that's interesting, but most of it, no, it's just real on the nose.
They don't twist the knife enough on the particular.
Yeah, they used to,
on the particular like the bad guy being the bad guy. Like they don't go far enough. Like I want Bourne to like be mad. Like, don't get Bourne mad. You know what I mean? Like, in this, it feels like...
And of course, they leave it open for sequels.
Of course.
And there's going to be probably
like every
sequels.
movie now does that. It's not as on the nose as far as the, like, hey, what happens? Or like, to be continued.
That was the end part is pretty cool, though. It's like...
Yeah, the end, it's fun. It's a good spy movie. It's not one of the best, even in the genre of Bourne.
Yeah,
but
if you like all the other movies, go watch this. You know, it's a good movie. It's fine.
It's fine. I think, actually, for me...
Better than...
What?
Ever Superman.
Stop it. That should not be our...
Check that box for this week.
Stop it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go check it out, guys.
All right.
Oh, hold on, my notes.
What else you got?
See here, I got Dat Shaky Cam.
Dat Shaky Cam, yeah.
For more sequels.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't broke, don't fix it.
And I think that's
Does it really work this year?
I think that's really what happens. Is it's just they know what audiences like, and they do that. They do a great car chase scene. They do an awesome fight scene that feels
good fight scenes, yeah.
And then that's it. And they show some cool NSA enemy of the state stuff.
People in front of computer screens.
Where's the asset? Anyways,
go check it out.
Okay, we've been doing this for a couple episodes. It's called Good Old Stuff, where we go and take a look at a classic movie that maybe isn't
video game, something
like that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. At least something that hasn't been something in our minds. Right. And we go back, we watch it, and we talk
maybe
about
it's something we've never seen before.
Yeah, now
we should have seen.
Yeah, and we're gonna spoil this. So if you have not seen it, you should go see it and then come back and listen to this. Or if you don't care,
David, what did we see?
We saw Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes, I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen it. I saw this a long time ago when I was like a kid. Because I loved Kung Fu movies. Do you like Kung Fu?
Came out in 1986. Good year, 1986.
Yeah, great year.
Probably one of the best years.
Were you born in 86?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
84% Rotten Tomatoes.
But are you a fan of like the Kung Fu genre of movies? Do you enjoy Kung Fu movies?
It's fine.
But you're not like you wouldn't seek it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Kill Bill. It's great.
Yeah, okay.
Probably,
that's as far as you go. Like, have you seen any of like the old school like Bruce Lee or like Jackie Chan stuff?
Enter the Dragon, is that the iconic?
Yeah,
seen that.
Yeah.
Saw Rush Hour. Is that what you're talking about? Jackie Chan.
Stop it.
No?
That actually is a great movie.
The tuxedo.
Stop it. Like any of like the old school Jet Li stuff. Jordan's a huge fan of that.
What was
stuff.
that Jet Li one where he was like a machine, like he was like a dog almost?
Oh,
The Legend.
Broken or Unbroken or Unchained? I forget what it's called, but I know he would take the collar off and then he'd lose his mind. Yeah. That was a good movie.
But anyway, like the classic stuff, no. I know I've seen Enter the Dragon because that's kind of like that, like, the iconic Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Yeah, this is it's directed by John Carpenter, who's known for The Thing. A bunch of other movies that are fantastic. But in this, it's kind of a East meets West kind of movie. That's kind of one of the general themes that run through this movie. But it's certainly a subtle comedy.
So this is my thing, David. So like I wasn't sure what to expect from this movie because again, I've never seen it before.
Okay.
I knew it was a comedy. And then watching
quote
it,
unquote comedy.
Yeah. So I'm like, that we're it's kind of like kung fu stuff against some mystical power, some magic stuff, which is kind of cool. But then I love like Airplane, all those kind of movies.
Yeah.
This is that, but like you said, real subtle.
Right. It's definitely like Ghostbusters is. Well, Ghostbusters is a little bit more on the nose with comedy,
Definitely more on the nose.
but it's subtle in its comedy. It's not like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
stupid stuff.
But
this is like genius almost.
Right.
Like, it's hilarious. Some of the things in this movie.
I'm surprised this movie kind of got made because of the budget in it had to be super high. The people are in it. Kurt Russell plays Jack Burton, who is a truck driver, loudmouth, macho man,
no home.
He's
kind of nomad.
Yeah, man. He's on the radio. He's talking about now he's gonna
hilarious.
He has the radio for a truck driver. It opens up the movie with him just like, "This is Jack traveling Burton, and I'm telling you guys that the road is the only place to be." You know, it's like, it's just like it's the classic. What you think of as a truck driver, macho guy, fast talking, all the ladies want to be with him and all the guys want to be.
But he's like secretly an idiot, and I love it.
Right, and that's the subtle comedy of it is that he at the beginning of the movie he meets up with a friend of his. And they're kind of playing like poker or some type of game. Yeah. And he tells him, "Hey, you gotta pay me for this." And he goes back to his restaurant, I guess is what it was. Somebody gets in trouble.
Well, it's not that. It's like, hold on, we'll go in my car. It's like, no, we'll go in my truck, my giant 18-wheeler to get the money.
Right. And so, of course, they get wrong place at the wrong time. They get in the middle of this gang war.
Which, like, again, they're in the 18. This is like one of the funny parts of the movie. They're in the 18-wheeler, like, well, what is that? Let's go this way. And it's this giant 18-wheeler in like this tiny alleyway
in Chinatown.
driving. Yeah,
it's in Chinatown.
And like they're trying to be all like stealthy and stuff. This giant.
It's hilarious. So of course, then all of a sudden there's this huge gang war in Chinatown, and all of a sudden, like these mystical beings come out of the sky, and the S hits the F, right? And they get caught up in this, and they're kind of like, oh, they're trying to run down the alley, like, oh, run away. And all Jack Burton cares about is, where's my damn truck?
Yeah, I wrote that as a specific line. Where's my truck? He mentions it multiple times in the movie.
But of course,
and I like it by the end of the movie, it's just there.
Right.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
it's like you left it in the alleyway.
It's so stupid. Anyways, you come to find out that these mystical beings are trying to perform this like ritual that is going to bring back this evil ancient character, right? That's kind of the general. I mean, the specifics of this movie are not, in my opinion, are not important. No. It's more about the enjoyment of watching this just play out, and it's fish out of water, but it's fish out of water that thinks he's like
all that.
He's the best. He can save everyone's problems. There is some good fight scenes in this, like traditional kung fu fight scenes. But it's also interesting to know because there's like I said, it's very satirical. It's playing on the notion of what the West thinks of the East. So for instance, the gang war comes out and it seems like, oh, kung fu. Everybody was kung fu. You're going to see some awesome No, they just pull out rifles and start shooting at each other. And that is like, immediately I was like, I get it. I thought I knew what you were going to. Yeah. And it's like, wait, you're supposed to throw a Chinese star or something, right? So, that I loved. I absolutely love that part.
I like
of
the different villains. Like they all have their each weapons, and one of them has like the spinning tops on top of his hands, like little blades. He's like, what's in his hands?
It's so like I said, it so plays dumb. Into like all of the, and honestly, these are all the stereotypes of what you think of like, if you play Street Fighter, like like it's like that. They're playing into all of those the traditional characters of like, oh, that's what you think you would do, and that's what and so. The thing I actually think is interesting about this is that Jack Burton is actually not really the main character in this movie. It's his friend who I can't remember his name.
The actor's name?
I don't remember the actor's name. You probably pull it up here. It's right there.
Wang Chi.
Yeah.
Played by Dennis Dunn.
Yeah, so Dennis Dunn's character, he's kind of more the main character because he's the protagonist that pushes everything forward.
No, and there's like a big fight scene like toward the end where he's like, it's all in the reflexes, and he shoots the Jack guy shoots his gun out and gets knocked out from rocks from the bullet. Then he's not even in.
No, he's in an archway. They're about to start the giant battle, like the big battle, and he's got his gun, and he's like, I'm gonna tear it up, and he's like, yeah, and he like shoots up in the sky like he's gonna, scare everybody, but he shoots the archway, which breaks apart, and then falls on his head and knocks him out.
Yeah.
And so he's completely useless. Like, amazing.
Like that. Oh, I was busting out laughing.
But there's definitely like a mystical part of this movie, like where there's like magic and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, the character, one of the mystical beings that comes down, he comes out of lightning and he shoots lightning out of his hand. That's what Raiden was based off of in the Mortal Kombat series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a direct.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when I was watching, I was like, that's. He even has like the fisherman hat. I'm like, that's Raiden.
Oh yeah.
Or Raiden, whatever. Some people say it the other way, but I was like, oh, that's Raiden. And I was like, then I looked online. I was like, well, yeah, clearly, Mortal Kombat didn't come out in 1986, so I should have just put that together. But it's a fun movie. It's a great action movie. It is definitely a timepiece because you can see the 80s running through this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely does not hold up, but like it's. The comedy holds up. The dialogue holds up.
Yeah, and the subtle parody and the satirical nature of all of it.
Don't take it too seriously.
Even the ending of this movie, which of course the good guy wins, right? I'm not going to ruin anything there. Like, there's the ending of it is just like, this is supposed to happen, right? Good guy gets the girl and like everything, they
happily ever after.
And nope.
He just leaves. Gets in his truck and leaves and gets back on the radio.
Right, and like the girl's like, are you going to give her a kiss? And he's like, nah.
And she's just left there like, oh, okay.
It's great. Like, it's just awesome. It's amazing. So it's doing that thing where it knows what you think it's going to do and then it doesn't do it. And then it even goes further than what you don't think it's going to do. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It's fantastic. John Carpenter, like, bravo. One of his best movies in my opinion. This has a huge cult following, obviously.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like one of those cult classic movies. What's interesting is they are making a board game of Big Trouble in Little China.
There isn't already?
There isn't already. Well, like, not like a designer board game. There might be like a Monopoly version because, of course, Monopoly has one of everything. But it's actually taking the Legendary system. Marvel Legendary, Aliens Legendary, and I think they did Predator. They're also coming out with a Firefly. So just pick a IP and put it. Now they're turning into the Monopoly. But they're making a Legendary Big Trouble in Little China, which apparently you can mix the Marvel characters and that, so you can, which is awesome. Like, that's totally like if Spider-Man showed up in the middle of like I'd be like, that makes sense. Like the movie's so over the top that it's like, whatever. Like,
yeah, who cares?
Like, even like the bad guy in the movie looks ridiculous. Like, when he's like he needs to like
an old Chinese emperor.
Yeah, and it's like Big Kill Bill. Like the guy, the trainer or whatever he was in that. Like, it's the classic like stroke the long chin and it's amazing. And the rituals that they have to do and everyone's like the magic that's in it. It's great. And even at the beginning of the movie, which I love the opening scene, because at the opening scene of the movie is, one of the characters, kind of a side character, is telling the police like, oh, this is what happened. He's like, oh, you're supposed to make me believe that magic's real. And he does the magic and it's just like, what, everyone? It's really fun. Go watch this. Tell us what you thought. Write it in the comments. Tell us what you liked and what you didn't like about Big Trouble in Little China.
And if you have other suggestions of good old stuff to watch or play, let us know.
I want to know. I want to know stuff because, like, I think for me, I enjoy, like I said, movies that I say in my head like they should remake that, but this is kind of a movie that probably wouldn't resonate in the same way. Resonate in the same way as it did back then, because I think we have less of those preconceived notions, I guess, if that makes sense.
But you can still appreciate it.
Yeah, you can appreciate it, but I just it's one of those things where it's weird that it hasn't been turned into a sequel. Like, it's a property that's popular, at least to the point that they're making a new board game.
Yeah. But if there's stuff, I'm actually really bad at 80s movies. I was obviously born in 86, so I kind of missed the boat on all that. When I moved in with my roommate, Dan, he's grew up in that time because he's super old. Dan,
oh, man. Hopefully he's not listening.
But he was like, oh my God, you've never seen like 16
Goonies?
Candles
Yeah,
or
16 Candles.
Goonies or that stuff. So I've watched a lot of those, but I'm definitely missing some of my catalog, including this movie until now. So
yeah,
when any other suggestions, hit us up.
Yeah, all I know is when I told you to watch this, you were like, sure. And then when you're watching, you text me like, what is this? Like, this is like this makes no sense.
But like I said, by the end, I'm like, this is kind of genius, like the subtleness of the comedy. It's just great.
And what's great is like if you look at the cover of the movie, like if you go online and you type in Big Trouble in Little China, like even the cover is like not what the movie is.
Right.
Like it's him with like the two guns and the girls next to him. Like he's not the main character of this. And like, that's great. Like it's so perfect. Like great job on the subtlety and especially like the satirical nature of it. Cannot recommend it enough. Check that out.
Yep.
As always, we'll wrap up here. As always, if you have anything that you want to have us check out, or if you have a question for us, you can send us an email. It's Ask Sit Down Standard, and we'll get you a $5 gift card to Amazon, Steam, or Starbucks. Yeah, no matter who you are, you like one of those three. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you have to. We picked these out. We had a long conversation on which three, so
I was like,
it's got a little bit for everybody.
I can't imagine. If you don't like one of those three and you somehow like this podcast, you send us an email and let me know. Like,
why?
Well, no, I just want to know. Like, where do you shop and what do you drink and how do you, I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, it's sitdownstandard@gmail.com. The email is?
David, it's sitdownstandard@gmail.com.
Very good. Until next time, bye.
See ya.